Metropolitans. To say a shocking announcement has been made as far as Luis Severino is concerned is a bit of an understatement. That's right, Sevy's heading to the Athletics on a 3-year deal worth $67 million. Plus, we have a little update on Jose Iglesias on this wonky OMG edition of Mets Digest. What's going on, everybody? Flobo Boyce here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Myself, alongside Mike D'Angelo, are just the two guys here at the Mets Digest offices trying to get you the Mets news and notes you need and love so much. Do me a favor, you're watching the video, you're down to clown, hit that subscribe button, like the video, share the video with other people. I myself, lifelong Mets fan. Even if you are a newer fan of the Metropolitans, you're all welcome here. Okay, enough of the formalities and pleasantries. Let's get into the top story today. It is early yet on December 5th, and it is absolutely official. Via Jeff Passan, we do have a little handle on Luis Severino, signing a 3-year deal with the, I can't even say Oakland Athletics. I almost said Oakland Athletics or the Sacramento Athletics or the Las Vegas Athletics. No, just a regular Athletics for 3 years, $67 million. This is the actual tweet from Jeff Passan earlier today. As you can tell, it's 9 o'clock, 9:45 a.m. Pacific. Luis Severino's and the A's are in agreement for a 3 years, $67 million deal. According to ESPN, it's the largest guarantee in the history of the A's franchise. We're going to talk about that in quite a second. It is the largest guarantee in the history of the A's franchise, and even with the qualifying offer attached, Severino got well over market expectations. So taking a step back, Severino got the qualifying offer worth the 1 year, $21.05 million. Turns that down, stands to make a little bit more than that. And people kind of thought, even though he had an up year last season on that prove-it deal, that prove-it year with the New York Mets, that he really wouldn't get the years and the amount he was looking for. Mets fans, let me know how you feel right now in the comments below about the situation. But just I want to talk to you about the psyche of Luis Severino, because I actually like this for him and his family. Here is somebody that was considered pretty much done. I'm not all like done, but like it being not so much a high leverage guy after the end of last season, the 2023 season, was tipping his pitches, worked hard on himself, checked in with the team, and really found a new chapter on his career. And he should get paid handsomely for that. He should get paid a multi-year deal, probably at a team that I wouldn't expect the A's to be in that conversation, but I do think that was well earned and well deserved. But beyond the actual mechanics, beyond the actual stuff, Sevy kind of became one of the heart and souls of the team, right? The OMG movement. He was the guy first holding up the sign, just supporting other pitchers when he wasn't working. That's kind of hard to replicate. And to me, it was interesting when Frankie Montas was signed earlier this week, how they kept, and I say the press, I don't say anyone in the office of the Mets, but the press kept underscoring that Montas was a clubhouse guy, and I wonder if that was the death knell for me. So that's a 1-for-1 swap. So yeah, if you're a pitcher, you come back, you work hard, you are a better pitcher out, you should get some security and stability with the multi-year deal, and the money that you were looking for was higher than what the Mets were going to give you over 1 year, but this is over a couple of years. Okay, now that's out of the way. It's the A's, man. That just, to me, is a little bit confusing. I mean, the A's are hamstrung from a lot of situations, whether it's their ownership or their payroll, and we'll get to that in a minute as well. But I'm not sure they even plan to be competitive next year. You can even argue that in the AL West, the Los Angeles Angels would have more upside in that division. It's a bit of a curious thing, especially with the facilities, where we don't really know how the Sutter Home Health Park, where the AAA team and the A's are willing to share the venue for the season, how that's going to hold up, especially with the Sacramento Heat. But I'm not here to stir the pot. Severino actually posted this about an hour after the announcement, just thanking Mets fans for the support all year long. And frankly, I think that was really classy from him. He didn't even have to do that. He could have said, "I'm out, peace," but giving his props to the New York Met fan base for doing everything and working with them to find his groove back, if that were the case. And even though the qualifying offer for Severino was a bit of a head scratcher at the time, it's kind of sad to see someone like Sevy go. And this is what I'm talking about. This may be one of the more sneaky trades or acquisitions we have in the offseason, because it's rippling all throughout baseball. the Mets obviously need to fix up the rotation. They'll be playing more episodes about that. But I want to talk to you about the other teams in play here. You look at the Pirates fan base. They have notoriously one of the lower payrolls as well. They just saw the Athletics spend for someone. I bet they're asking what's going on in Pittsburgh. But the A's fan base themselves, if you go on Twitter right now, if you go on Blue Sky right now, are absolutely and rightfully so livid. The team had left the Oakland area, citing just not being able to build up a fan base. And the first month, their first offseason that they're outside of the Oakland area, make a signing that is literally higher than their payroll was the past year. Severino's making $67 million over 3. The Oakland A's only had a $62 million payroll last year. And so fans are kind of like, whoa, you're trying to be competitive as soon as you got out of the Bay Area. This is one of the largest contracts we've ever seen for the A's, and will put the A's over the $100 million payroll level. I'm not sure. I was going to say floor, but I know floor and salary floor are very charged issues, whether or not teams should have a minimum spend for a franchise. And I'm not saying that Severino doesn't deserve it, but I do think it's interesting that a lot of the fans are looking at Severino's like, wait, you're giving it to that guy? What about the rest of our team? Maybe it's kind of displace anger towards John Fisher and the Athletics. If you guys want to know more about the Athletics debacle, I recommend checking out that Brody Brazil channel on YouTube. They don't pay me to say that. I'm not getting any kind of kickbacks. I just love the fact that Brody Brazil was really on the ground to really talk about how that team is shifting. Looks like they're willing to make these big splashy signings. And of course, Severino is down to go. That still leaves a hole in our rotation between Montez, between Kodai Senga, and possibly David Peterson, question mark. There is still a number 1 slot. There is still a number 2 slot, and arguably a number 5 slot still needing to be filled. But we do know for a fact it's not going to be Luis Severino. Congratulations, though, to Sevy, man. Like I said, it takes a lot to dig deep, and he got paid handsomely for it. Hopefully, his family transitions smooth and keep the good times rolling. But before we get out of here, just going to give you a note about Jose Iglesias, one of the other hearts and souls of the team in the 2024 season. This is why I think this is going to be a very OMG edition of Mets Digest. The guy was so good, I find it kind of interesting if he would ever accept a role coming off the bench again with the New York Mets. So I do think his free agency journey is up in the air. This tweet comes from Laura Albany. She covers the New York Mets for New York Newsday, which is a newspaper in the New York area based on Long Island that really covers the Mets from that perspective. And so just give you an update of what's going on with Candelita himself. She writes, Jose Iglesias said that while he's enjoying the free agency process, he's very open to returning to the Mets. I mean, why wouldn't he? The team is amazing. He also plans to drop a new song at the beginning of the year. Not sure if the new song is going to have the same magic as OMG. The original, that Pitbull remix was crap. I don't know why Pitbull just came and put his face all over it and got rid of Candelita on Candelita's song, but that's another issue for another time. Like I said, hey, look, if you have a chance to come back to the Mets, I'm sure you want to, but Jose is so good, or was so good. If a team comes by with more years or more cash, would you fault him for going elsewhere? That's the question I have. So, if you made it this far to the video, a couple questions I have for you. Thoughts about the Luis Severino deal? Thoughts about the A's coming out of nowhere off the top rope with the bag for Sevy? And if you had the opportunity to re-sign Iglesias, would you do that? Let me know in the comments below. I read them, the positive, the negatives, everything in between. I am just so glad the hot stove is warming up. Other things are coming together. We're getting a bigger picture of what the 2025 Mets franchise is looking like. And this is what excites me. This is why I'm a lifelong fan. Ever since I was a kid growing up watching my man Benny Agbayani. That does it for me in this edition of Mets Digest. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Flobo Boyce, and as always, it's LGM to the bitter end.